Hey guys, I must be the last person to know, but I must be the last person to know. I swear I must be the last. Charlie Kirk has been assassinated. Charlie Kirk was a conservative. Charlie Kirk was a walking, talking encyclopedia. He knew facts about everything. He was super, super, super smart. And if you have any logic in your head at all, you would realize that he talked logic. He was faith based, he was based in God, and I'm not going to sit here and say I agree with everything that he said. He wanted women to, stay home and raise the children, and that's all well and good. But if you're married to a narcissist, like I was, and like a lot of women were, you cannot do that because money will be weaponized against you, and you know the whole bit. So I don't agree with. There's no one person in the world. If we use our brain, there's no one person in the world that you're going to agree with every single thing that comes out of their mouth. That's common sense. People don't agree with everything you all think. They don't agree with everything I think or say. That's just life, okay? But I thought he was amazing. There were so many things that he said that were based in common sense and factual. He's the one that I found out about outside of the DNC, down the street, not too far from the convention, was a truck that was inviting women who were pregnant to go in there and terminate their fetuses. He's the one that I learned that from. Because you could bet your sweet ass that ain't going to be on no motherfucking news. That ain't going to be advertised on the news, kiddos. Okay? He was based in common sense. He was based in God. He was based in faith. He was against violence. He said that we should have a Second Amendment right to bear arms, and of course. And ironically, he was shot and killed. And I did not know that. I just found that out. And some people said he was killed by the radical left, and that's a strong, strong, strong possibility because they are a hate-filled party. And somebody else said that, and I was really grateful that they said that. And somebody was like, "Oh, I don't like what he said about Pelosi's husband and this and that and the other." That couple, him and his wife, are evil to the goddamn core. She wanted an automatic weapon. I'm not going to go political, but it is political. She wanted an automatic weapon to kill people who approach the White House. And you think she's a saint or something? Not really a saint. Don't you have to be dead to be? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. They're not exactly the nicest people in the world, okay? He would shake people's tree. He was based in common sense. And only people on the left would hate him. Only people on the left. He also talked about how factual, this is factual. People could deny it every day and bury their head in the sand if they want to. But he talked about how kids are being, what is the word? Indoctrinated in colleges. They may go in college one way and they come out a completely different way because they are being brainwashed and indoctrinated while they're in there. Not only that, he felt like college was a complete waste of time, and and I totally agree with him. Depending on the field that you go in, you don't have to go to college. And he said that one of the upper managers, could make, I forget how much money, a massive amount of money per year working at Walmart. So there are certain fields where you make a lot of money and you don't necessarily have to go to college for that. He was based in logic, and that pisses people off. We're just going to keep it real. He was based in logic. So he was in Utah, I believe, and he was on a massive campus, and there were tons and tons and tons and tons of people there. And 20 minutes into his speech, he was shot in the neck and killed. I loved listening to him because he was so freaking smart. There was nothing you could throw at him that he didn't have an answer for. And I'm not going to say that he was always right and he was always perfect. He ain't God. He ain't Jesus. He's a person. But the majority of what he said was based in common damn sense and factual. Anybody who don't like it, screw you. You don't like reality and you don't like common sense. Well, you don't have any place on my channel because you in the wrong place. If you need to be, have your head buried in the sand and you believe that mermaids are real because everybody's told you that mermaids are real and unicorns are real because God knows that's everywhere, trying to brainwash people into believing that's real. If that's what you prefer to believe in, mermaids and shit, well then get off my channel. It was nice knowing you. Peace out. I am shocked. I shouldn't be because people are evil. But I really, really thought the world of him. I did. And people have to also be intelligent enough, which isn't going to happen. People hate using their brains. Pisses people off when you try to make them think. But if you were to use your freaking brains, those that don't like him, you would know that even though he said something that you don't like, he also had a very small window to make that comment. He couldn't really explain it to you because he was answering everybody's questions. So if a person makes a statement, but they don't clarify because they don't have the time to clarify. It's in person at a conference, or it's on TV, or it's on a radio station. They cannot go into a long explanation about that. So you could easily take that small snippet of what he said and run clear across the football field with that and talk about how much you hate him and how he's a terrible person just because you misunderstood what the freaking hell he said, and he didn't have the time or the ability to explain that with you because he has to move on with the conference. I feel badly for his children. I feel badly for his wife. I feel badly for him. They must have shot him in an artery because, people that were witnesses said there was tons and tons and tons of blood. So I'm pretty sure they shot him in an artery. I thought, I'm just now finding out about this. I thought that was nasty rumors or wishful thinking from people who resent using their brain. And they were brainwashed by the left. So they're demonic. So anybody who comes along who has a good heart, who loves God, and who believes in common sense, they're automatically an enemy. Automatically an enemy. My heart goes out to his wife and his children. And they supposedly, I don't think they've found, they had a few suspects and they questioned them. But they released a few of them, so I don't know if they actually got the real shooter. But there were cameras and drones everywhere, I'm pretty sure. And they do believe that that person was on a roof of a building nearby and shot him. I'm in a state of shock right now. I considered him a walking, talking encyclopedia. Do you honestly think the left is going to advertise all over the media that they were encouraging people to murder their fetuses? Not too far from the fucking convention, the DNC. Do you honestly think the news is going to tell you all that? They're not. Because they're controlled by the left. So they got to do what Big Daddy tells them to do. You get so used to, a lot of people get so used to being immersed in evil and illogic that when someone clean and pure comes along that tries to steer you in the right direction, you hate them and resent them. Because you were taught to be evil and you're doing a good job. Why do you think, and look, I don't give a fuck what people think, and if you don't like it, get off my fucking channel. People, why do you think people are so easily pulled into a freaking cult? Because it's easy to manipulate people. It is easy to portray that you love them and care for them and you're going to be their family, and your family never appreciated you and doesn't love you like I will. Okay? People are easily led by a ring in their nose. Charlie was going to guide you. We're going to take the ring out of your nose and we're going to gently guide you towards common sense and facts. And the people who are in the cult, the left cult, didn't like that shit. How can we manipulate your kids in college if there's someone educating you that it's happening? And he went to colleges across the country, if I'm not mistaken, and he's educating the kids who are not only misguided and indoctrinated and brainwashed, but they were also taught to be angry and to hate. And they were good at it. They were getting real good at it. Some of you parents aren't even going to recognize your kids when they come home from college, even if it's on a small break or whatever. You're not going to recognize your kid because they've been indoctrinated by their professors. Charlie was the light. Charlie was the one to say, hey, let me tell you what's really going on inside your college. And because he was guiding people and trying to break up the cult, the nationwide cult, he was eliminated for it. He will always live online. All of his videos will still be online. And he will reach people, even though he's no longer here. He will continue to reach people through his videos. I'm shocked and disgusted. Shocked and disgusted. What a good man. What a good man. Anybody could take a snippet of what you said and twist it and make you out to be the worst person ever. Because they don't have an explanation behind the comment. So they're going to twist it. When people don't know something, they fill in the blanks with what they want to fill the blanks in with. There's no one person alive that is a speaker that you're going to agree with everything that comes out of their mouth. That's called human nature. Human nature. Even your best friend, if any of y'all have best friends, your best friend's not going to agree with everything. They're not going to be hateful about it. They're just going to say, well, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but this is how I see it. You don't have to agree with everything somebody says. And who do you think you are, for those who hated him, who the hell do you think you are that you expect him, everything he says, to be perfect and in alignment with what you think? Who the hell are you? Give me a break. Charlie, I'm so sorry. To his wife and child, or wife and children, I am so sorry that this world is so evil that when someone wants to bring the light, someone has to snuff their light out because they hate the truth. They prefer to be indoctrinated. They prefer to be abused. They prefer to be in the middle of a cult. They prefer to have their identity stolen. They prefer the darkness. Rest in peace, Charlie.